Hey everybody, Matthew Cooke here, founder and CEO of GTC Golf Academy, and today I'm going to show you a better way to practice. I asked a huge group of people what they feel they would get the most value from and how they feel that they would improve their games in a better way. I asked if online coaching programs was one thing, watching YouTube videos, seeking a local golf pro. I didn't even put this, but practice seems pretty obvious. I put a few other things, and then there was hundreds of people that on their own wrote practice. So I've been involved in practicing the specific science of learning and practice for a long time now. Over 10 years, I've spent time with some of the best people and smartest people on the planet when it comes to becoming an expert in something, which is through practice. So I wanted to share with you a really simple, I'll use this club to start with, a really simple way that you can practice more effectively in order for you to be able to take your range game to the golf course. And it's a concept called interleaving practice. Interleaving practice is where we do 2 or more tasks but never in succession. But even with that being said, we've got to adapt that for the different level of skill for each golfer. So let's say you're an average golfer, you're shooting between 85 and 90. I would suggest this is how you practice. Whether you're doing a drill or just hitting shots to a target, I suggest you do this. So you're going to grab 5 golf balls, and I have an 8 iron in my hand. Imagine that I'm an 85 to 90 shooter. I've got my 8 iron in my hand, 5 golf balls, and then I'm going to get another 5 golf balls and put them behind this batch. And then 5 golf balls are going to be with, remember this is 8 iron, so those are going to be with wedge, my 52-degree wedge. So I've got 2 different clubs. They're not similar. 8 iron and wedge are very much apart, very much so. There's a big gap between those. And so we've essentially got 2 different tasks: 8 iron task and wedge task. So there we have the interleaving, there's different tasks of the interleaving practice part. Now what we're going to do is we're going to have a different goal. And for my 8 iron, there's a flag out there. I'm going to use that flag as my target. I'm going to hit regular 8 iron shots. I've got to go through each one like I would in a full pre-shot routine, everything. And then these 5 are going to be with my wedge. And there's actually a target, a bunker to the right, so it's a different distance, different goal, different area, different club. So essentially we're making practice much more representative of the golf course, different things, but it's not one shot it's not one shot with 8 iron, one shot with wedge. We're hitting 5, because as a golfer that's shooting in the 85 to 90 range, you actually need that time hitting a few more balls to start to gain a visual representation and an image in your mind of what you're trying to achieve from a thought, feeling, movement, strike, concept, all of this stuff. You need to hit more shots to get that. The lower the handicap, the lower the score that a golfer shoots, the more balls you would remove, and you'd get down to, for example, if Tiger Woods was on the range, it would be 1 golf ball with this club to that target doing X thing. Next ball, different club. In fact, the next ball shouldn't even be in the same place. It should be somewhere else. And then you hit a shot there, go somewhere else, hit a shot there, and then come back here. Because that's much more like the golf course. You walk in the space between shots. But for the 85 to 90 shooter, 2 different tasks, 2 different clubs, 2 different targets. And all we're going to do is hit these 5, then move on to the second task and hit those 5. And that is much better practice. So I'll show you, I'll go through the whole thing now. So I've got my 8 iron. Hit an 8 iron to the white flag, and then I go through a full routine that I would on the golf course. Line the ball up, go through my practice swings, aim, just like I would on the golf course. I got to treat these golf balls deliberately and purposefully, just like they mean something, just like they would on the golf course. Not bad at all. Next shot, line it up again. because the goal is to keep your mind engaged keep thinking. We want the cognition. We want our brains to be active. That it stimulates a certain type of process in the brain that is helpful for us to learn and perform better long term. Oh, solid strike. I just blocked it a little bit. Maybe I was aiming there. So, next ball. And you'll feel, as you get better as a golfer, you'll just start to feel, you know what, it's getting a little easy on these last couple of shots. And when you get to that point, it's time to reduce the number of shots you hit. So just us as human beings, we're pretty incredible. We know when we need to change things most of the time. So already, obviously for me, after the second or third, it was a bit repetitive. So I was starting to switch off. But I'm just showing you for the purpose of this exercise, for the 85 to 90 shooter. Whoop, a little right. So I've hit those 5 balls with my goal of hitting the 8 iron to that flag, going through my routine. Now I shift, I grab the 52. I've got a new target, a new goal. I'm taking my glove off because it's not a full shot. And now I go into hitting these just like I would be hitting on the golf course. Full routine, practice swings. Trying to hit sort of this medium flighted 52, so it might check up on that first or second bounce like that. That should check up right on that first bounce. There we go. Not a bad outcome. And I go through the same process again, every shot, all 5 shots. Full routine. Full routine, all 5 shots. This way, we really, well, that was pretty good. I like that one. Should on around that second bounce it checked up. So then you go through all those 5 shots, and all of a sudden you've only hit 10 balls in the space of where you usually would have hit like 20 or 30 balls. But those 10 balls were much more deliberate, much more purposeful. And because of what you just did, when you go out on the golf course, your thoughts, feelings, the image you have and what you're trying to achieve is more likely to show up out there because you had to think through this. Too many golfers get on the range, mindless repetition. This is how you should practice for that sort of 85 to 90 shoot. To try that, I guarantee your scores are going to get lower.